Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So my name is Samantha. We have got to talk about this. Look, we're going to discuss FEMA, and we're going to move through a coordinated effort of how FEMA is becoming the long arm of the law here in America and the implications for you and I. Now, you guys know the routine. Please, when you pop on, hit the like button, drop your name and comments. Let me know who is here with me so that we can have a real conversation, because we're not going to cut them any slack today, guys. It's time to take the gloves off. And I think most of you would agree with that. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a video of the FEMA worker who admitted to not going to Trump signed houses with Trump signs, right? Now, she said it's because people were uncomfortable. Here is what the point I want to make to you. Would this have flown for the face of Americans if a FEMA worker would have said, I didn't go to those houses because those are Spanish-speaking people and I feel uncomfortable? I didn't go here to these houses because it's in the ghetto and I just assumed that these are Black people and they might hurt me and I felt uncomfortable. Welcome to all of you. Thank you all for coming on. I just love seeing everybody here. It just tickles my heart. You guys are amazing. So I'm going to show you the video of her admitting that they allow the workers to determine what homes that they are going to service as federal employees by how they feel. They feel threatened. And it's just such a slap in the face of Americans. So here we go. Hope you guys all enjoy this.
So why? So firstly, I'm being framed. There's no violation of the Hash Act. I was simply following orders. I did not vote for Kamala Harris, so there's no political plight on my part. I was simply following orders. The message that you see there comes from a Teams chat. That's not a text message. And I get that information from my TFL. That's my direct supervisor. Every morning we have a conversation about how to keep the team safe. So that directive was for that day based on the encounters the team had experienced previously. So political hostility or, avoid the homes with the Trump campaign signs, that was all running a community trend. I have proof we registered Trump supporters. I have proof we've helped.
Hold on, you guys. Let me do something. It's a little too dark. I told you I am going to invest in a bigger screen so that when I do this, it's a little bit clearer for you guys. I do apologize.
So firstly, I'm being framed.
She's being framed.
There's no violation of the Hash Act. I was simply following orders.
Sorry, guys. Somebody's trying to call me. I apologize. It just seems like it's going to go crazy because, Satan doesn't want this to get out there. Okay, so now you got to work.
Not vote for Kamala Harris, so there's no political plight on my part. I was simply following orders. The message that you see there comes from a Teams chat. That's not a text message. And I get that information from my TFL. That's my direct supervisor. Every morning we have a conversation about how to keep the team safe. So that directive was for that day based on the encounters the team had experienced previously. So political hostility or, avoid the homes with the Trump campaign signs, that was all running a community trend. I have proof we registered Trump supporters. I have proof we've helped Trump supporters.
So let me ask you two questions. You said something that was interesting. Did you vote for Trump?
No.
Okay, all right. You said you didn't vote for Kamala Harris, so I had to throw that out there, whether you voted for Trump. But so to be clear, you are agreeing that there was the directive to skip certain homes with pro-Trump signs, correct?
Correct. And that's due to political hostile encounters. And unfortunately, when we run a community trend of what's happening in the field, we take in all levels of observation. It just so happened that, unfortunately, most of the hostile encounters, those running trends did have those campaign signs. Safety precautions are not politically driven, and that's what's being skewed here. Because Can Ms. Criswell explain why didn't we canvass on Election Day or the day after? Why did we receive stand down orders? Was that political or was that safety?
Well, let me ask you, because you compared it in a different interview to having loose dogs, and you basically said, someone on the team was comfortable with dogs, another person is not. We can't go to that home because of safety precautions. I mean, that makes sense to me, right? Where you have a specific incident that occurs at a house, right? If you go to a particular Trump-supporting home and the people were very aggressive, I get it. But taking that and effectively saying, well, we're not going to go then to any houses with dogs, or we're not going to go to any houses with a Trump sign. Did you ever think to yourself, this sounds kind of insane?
It's not insane. My job is to make sure everyone feels comfortable and safe. I cannot project what's comfortable for me, for the entire team.
Okay, so comfortable and safe. Again, if I was him interviewing her, right then I would have stopped her. Go away, Nat. And I would have said this to her. So if you have white FEMA workers and they say, oh, I'm uncomfortable going into the inner city of Chicago because I feel like I might be robbed, is that okay? Or would that be considered racist? What if I said, nope, I'm a female, so any house that I approach that only has men, I don't feel comfortable. So I'm just not going to go there. That's where it's ignorant. It's ignorant, her line of thinking, and listen to her as she continues. She's going to say, I was just doing my job. That's what we're going to talk about next.
But why should the team get to decide if they feel comfortable or not going to a particular home based on political support?
Based on their encounters, if they have valid reason to feel uncomfortable, and that's based on if you have ammunition signs outside your home of purple paint, if you approach with aggressive posturing,
I need a safe space.
Government conspiracies and advocate strongly, they have the right to disengage. Yeah. I sent your studio over the hostile encounter procedures from FEMA. It's vaguely written if you really look at it. But the first thing it does discuss is avoidance, then methods of de-escalation, and then the last statement again goes back to avoidance. So again, it's a collective effort in order for everyone to feel comfortable in order to render the servitude. I don't have a horse in that race. My orders come from my superior, and I simply just execute. If you check my record, I have no action of disciplinary write-ups or anything in the past.
So I just want to be clear. So the directive that came from above was based on the experiences that individuals had. We should now avoid homes with Trump signs. That was the directive you had gotten from above specifically?
Correct. I didn't create that. That came from my direct superior. And what's also important with that is that's just for that moment and for that day. We have other days where we were able to canvass certain areas that were strong campaign supporters of Trump. It's not about the campaign signage as much more as the community trend that comes.
Sounds like they're profiling.
Right. The problem is that anytime you say it's a trend and you say, well, we've had some problems with Trump supporters, therefore we're going to skip other Trump supporters, that's where you get into the trouble. But the FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell said, Deanne says this is a clear violation with regard to you of FEMA's core values and principles to help people regardless of their political affiliation. This was reprehensible, she said.
So is it reprehensible that we didn't canvass on Election Day or the day after?
So she just goes on and brings back up, we didn't canvass on Election Day or the day after. I mean, like, she just will not admit that she allowed her team, who were, let's be very honest, folks, probably a bunch of very left-leaning, liberal-type people who got offended as soon as they saw the sign. How many of those people actually had an actual human-to-human encounters with the people inside? And when I was at the airport the other day, I told you guys, there's a marked difference in the way that airports and hospitals treat people because the government has become involved. These people feel like they are above the law. If you say anything that upsets them, they shut you down, They call for you to be removed. They kick you off the airplane for life. They refuse to service your home. I mean, these are your tax dollars paying this lady's. This is her job. You pay for it. She has no apology. Reminds me so much of the Monica Kiesler with the peanut, the squirrel. The woman got on Facebook and accused an innocent woman of getting the squirrel and the raccoon killed. And then when it backfired, and I do assume it probably did, and somebody framed her for it, she has no apologies, right? I am now just the victim. This is what this woman's saying. I am now just the victim. I'm not sorry that we didn't help people in need. I am now just the victim. And I'm going to agree with that. Ban everything. Said nobody from FEMA has ever come to check on anybody that I know of after a Louisiana hurricane. You are correct. I never had a FEMA person pull up in my yard and say, ma'am, do you need help? Ever. I have to go find them wherever they've chosen to set up for the few hours they choose to be available in the hot Louisiana sun while we sit or stand and bake in the sun, and they sit in AC and take breaks because they're hot. It's crazy. It's just crazy. But if you guys get the newsletter that comes with either being a member of this channel or you have donated to, fundraisers we've done, and you now get the newsletter, it went out late last night. So check your email carefully in your spam for it. In it, Leslie talks about FEMA, and what she said, it just blew my mind. She's so connected to the Holy Spirit. She makes the comment that FEMA is now the long arm of the law, and that we have to very well understand where FEMA is and how it's going to play out. FEMA is the executive arm of the coming police state and will head up all further operations. And I believe that. Also, please make sure that you read the newsletter careful. There is a questionnaire you need to fill out and get back to Leslie so we can start working on mobilizing you guys in your communities to take some territory. Okay. Now, moving on, I wanted to talk about what is going on with our current or soon to be president and the people that he is choosing to sit on and in office. Now, I never paid attention. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I just went and voted for president and then moved on. But after watching Trump get just demolished by the deep state in 2016, and then watching all of the stuff that the Biden-Harris regime did in 2020 to 2024, my eyes are a little more open at who they pick to sit in these positions. And I'm a little concerned that we may have a bigger problem with some of these people that Trump has chosen. Don't jump down my throat. I'm just learning about this stuff, and I'd like to discuss it with you guys. First off, let's start with this.
Be your sit rep. It is 11/12/2024, coming to you live here from the Monkey Lounge in the great state of Texas. And today we are going to be looking at the red wave. It is official. We have now taken control of both the House and the Senate in a huge tsunami of a wave that, the last time we did this was actually in the first term of Donald Trump. And it was a very small window. And because he was surrounded by the deep state, he didn't get a chance to really get anything done. And I think he figured that out after the fact. So now he is trying to basically navigate those waters yet again, because the deep state, and we see him. I'm going to show you here in just a minute, trying to put their people and assets around him yet again. So
I agree with that statement, folks. I agree that they are again trying to slip in the deep state. And so I'm going to show you a couple of clips I saw, and I really want your honest opinion over here in comments. And let's talk about this because I'm a little concerned. I have to be that way. I'm learning. I don't know who a lot of these people are, So you guys are going to help me figure this out, right?
Mr. Spa, and you roll this. Mike Rogers.
I credit George Bush and his administration for assembling this new intelligence community. They passed the Patriot Bill that allows and takes the handcuffs off our intelligence services.
The most damnable
Policymakers
act
back
ever
here
signed
use
by
words like
Bush.
illegal wiretap.
The domestic surveillance program of the NSA.
It could be abused.
We're already seeing
It's
such a
abused.
Patriot Act that maybe we don't need it now. Couldn't be further.
Look where he is at. Council
The
Foreign
Bulk
Relations.
Telephone Metadata Program is legal and effective. Provisions of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act expire at the end of this month. We need to rapidly reauthorize these provisions, and we need to work toward making these tools permanent as a part of our arsenal. Self-restriction, big problem in U.S. intelligence collection. We're the only intelligence service in the world that is forced to go to a court. We always joked in the intelligence space, we would love to get 1/10 of what Google has on you.
I supported these programs when they were classified, and I support these programs today.
Next. Okay, Senator Bernie Sanders announced he will work with Trump to cap the credit card interest rates at 10%. Hey, Mittens is going to help Trump. A miracle. Next. Turncoat Pence calls on Senate to block RFK's. The fly is calling on it. Anyway, next. Yeah, what's this now? Bucks County Democrat Commission violate the rules of law and ignore PA's Supreme Court ruling, so they're still counting. They're still ballots.
Counting ballots, guys.
Folks, this is illegal.
It is illegal.
Next. All right, what we got here? The prestigious Cleveland Clinic has issued a chilling warning of an incoming wave of deaths that will kill off huge numbers of people who received COVID mRNA vaccines. Oh, wow. Cleveland Clinic warns of a wave of mass deaths will wipe out COVID vaccines within 5 years. Bring it right back. We've been telling you that for 4 years. Now they...
All right. So the guy I was showing you in that clip, it looks like Trump may put him in position of power, guys, over the FBI. I'm a little concerned about that.
Next. Okay, remember when the incoming Attorney General Matt Gaetz called out the swamp to their face? He says, I take no lecture or asking. Well, just roll the clip.
My colleague says we've passed the strongest border bills in history. Well, guess what? Look at the border right now. We didn't use sufficient leverage in the debt limit or in any other thing to actually get results on the border. The border is a disaster, really something I don't think you're going to be campaigning on, that you fix the border. Second, you said you streamlined regulations. What the gentleman from Louisiana doesn't tell you is that all of the regulatory reform he was just bragging about is waivable by the stroke of a pen of someone in the Biden White House. Do you really think you got anything for that? It's a total joke. And then finally, the welfare to work that the gentleman from Louisiana said we got. The welfare programs that they said that they streamlined with their welfare to work stuff, they're actually going to grow. Because while they did work requirements, they blew out those programs with expanded eligibility. I'm real glad you guys didn't put work requirements on Medicaid. It probably would have resulted in Medicaid expansion. And when it comes to how those raise money, I take no lecture on asking patriotic Americans to weigh in and contribute to this fight from those who would grovel and bend knee for the lobbyists and special interests who own our leadership, who have, boo all you want, who have hollowed out this town and have borrowed against the future of our future generations.
Amen.
I'll be happy to fund my political operation through the work of hardworking Americans, $10 and $20 and $30 at a time. And you all keep showing up at the lobbyist fundraisers and see how that goes for you. I reserve.
Well, great job. We sure need that man to come in and clean house. Next.
So I agree.
Okay, breaking news. Soon names Lank.
I know a lot of you got upset with me when I mentioned that they had dug up some stuff from 2017 on Gaetz. Guys, we should all question everything. All right? All of it. All of it. Okay? So let's keep going and talking about more of who they're putting in around Trump. And I want to know, do you guys think these are deep state or do you think these are solid people? Drop it in comments.
Vice Chair, the same Langford who helped Democrats create bipartisan amnesty bill that would allow millions of illegals not only cross our borders legally, removing the criminal element of crossing our border, but it would give those, and it goes on to talk about. So this is who soon just named Langford as the Vice Chair in the Senate. These people are corrupt, ladies and gentlemen. Next. All right, this guy's delusional. This is
Yeah.
Schumer is now.
I don't
urging
care about
Republicans to
Schumer and his
go easy on
begging the
Trump-
Republicans to be gentle on the.
Republicans are willing to do the same.
He's like, please work bipartisan. We do our best work bipartisan. Yeah, you might have should have thought about that before you did some of the stuff I'm going to show you in a second that Biden and Harris has done to the future of America. You just wait, guys. I'm serious. I'm going to show you some stuff.
Are you filming it? I want you guys to get this. I want them to destroy every element of Hamas they can get their hands on. These people are vicious animals who did horrifying crimes. And I hope you guys post that.
And what about the civilians that are being killed every day?
Hamas should stop hiding behind civilians, putting civilians in the way. Hamas knew that this was going to lead to this. So Hamas should stop building their military installations underneath hospitals.
So you don't care that 15,000 have died? You don't care about the babies that are being killed every day?
I think it's terrible, and I think Hamas is 100% to blame. That's what I think. Make sure you post that, please.
Okay. So on one side, good for America. On the other side, it leads just to more total war. So that's the problem where Trump obviously will resolve everything and everything will go back to peace as it was under his first administration. There was no wars or conflicts.
No wars at all, y'all.
So let's see what happens. Hey, I'll give Rubio the benefit of the doubt. I'm really not a fan, but we'll see what happens. Next, Trump's choice for National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is married to Julia Nishabat, current member of the Atlantic Council, served in Bush, Obama, Trump, and Biden administrations. She served in the World Economic Forum's Global Advisory Council on Low Carbon Energy Transformation, as well as International Affairs Fellow with the Council on Foreign Relations. Okay, so this is the guy that's been chosen now, Mike Waltz, as a National Security Advisor, and his wife is part of the deep state. So I'm just saying, guys, we got to be careful who is coming in this new administration.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're surrounding yourself with people that are going to undermine what you're doing. Next. All right. John Thune's daughter was director of a PAC that donated to anti-Trump radical Democrats. So this is John Thune, who's now been chosen as the head of the Senate to replace Mitch, the Turtle McConnell. And his daughter is a director of a PAC that donated to anti-Trump radical Democrats. I'm just saying, okay? Next. All right, Trump plans to appoint Marco Rubio Secretary of State. Rubio is an Israel First Neocon whose slogan in 2016 was really New American Century, which all that's bad stuff. The New American Century, folks, is terrible. And he was called for war then with Iran, just gets better and better. Roll this.
So if you don't get a deal, what's the alternative? Do we have to go to war? Is it necessary to be absolutely certain they don't have a nuclear weapon or the capability to build one?
And I think that the best way to have achieved that is to leave in place both the unilateral sanctions and the international sanctions. You combine that with a very clear demarcation to the Iranian regime, and that is this: if you cross this threshold, you will face military action on the part of the United States. We don't want that to happen, but the risk of a nuclear Iran is so great that option must be on the table.
So if it came to that, that would be an option that you would actually
absolutely
consider and use.
And let me tell you why. If we don't do it, someone else will. The Saudis are not going to sit there and watch Iran build a Shia bomb without a Sunni bomb. The Israelis are not going to sit there and watch a regime that calls for their destruction develop the capability to do so. But again, we would hope to have avoided that point by severely limiting and sanctioning Iran for its nuclear ambitions. And quite frankly, I think this deal could literally lead to increasing the prospects for war.
But what you're saying here, we cannot let Iran become a nuclear
Absolutely.
power, and we have to do whatever is necessary if that includes going to war.
Absolutely. By the way, if Iran doesn't need nuclear power, peaceful nuclear power, they're an oil-rich country. The only reason why they want enrichment and reprocessing capability is they want to one day be able to be nuclear threshold or nuclear possessed.
Once we understand everything that the Kerrys, because they all connected with Iran, and I can name all of them. All these neocons in Republicans that have actually helped build that, and even under the Biden and Obama administrations, helped build Iran to be what it is. So,
speaking of Obama, and I didn't really know this till recently. I told you guys, just like God opened my eyes, and I can't shut them. Right? I know a lot of you are feeling the same way. I'm reading your comments. So I found out that Obama dropped more bombs than any president other than Eisenhower. And people claim that he was this great, amazing, wonderful, like president. Hold on.
Republican, particularly legislation. Republican, the
Hold on.
Now, if you want to have an operation in your, put. I was on antidepressants for. Neither is drinking.
Hold on. I'm gonna find it.
It's really interesting to see that people are taking such, strides or action.
This was
towards Trump being
filmed
elected.
in Europe, in the
Are you
United
excited that
Kingdom,
he's gonna be,
at the
new
U.S.
president?
Embassy.
I just hope for the better, for a better future. I think I didn't vote again, so I think next election we'll see. If things get better, maybe I'll vote red. Things get even worse, maybe I'll vote blue. I just want whatever's better for America.
Fundamentally agree. I think what's good for America is good for the world. So, he's the only president in our lifetime that wasn't involved in, never started a war. And that's a positive from a foreigner's point of view. Yeah. Obama dropped more bombs than any other president since Eisenhower. And he's hailed as a good president.
Yeah, with the whole Afghanistan war,
Yeah. Not just Afghanistan, Syria, Libya. He completely destroyed Libya. It was a functioning economy, a functioning country.
Wow.
And now they've got slave markets. But,
That's all under Obama, but you won't see them telling these young people that. I have received comments in the last couple of weeks along the lines, the blue bracelet, by the way, folks, this is purple. It's not blue. I had several people on those comments. I said, I would just like one person to tell me one right women have lost under Trump. I get these long paragraphs about all kinds of nonsensical nonsense, but not one right has been listed. Also, I hear these comments like, wait till they take your Social Security and then you'll be in the same boat. And I'm like, where is all that coming from? I mean, go back and look at policy and what some of these have done, some of these presidents that people voted in. And then I hear stuff like this, and what is the last clip? And then we're going to talk about something that that Biden and Harris did that is really going to open up the door for foreign people to come in, countries, companies to come in and take our land. But you got to hear this woman.
Sheep in wolf clothing, and I just wanted to scream.
This is a woman that's basically, she's telling everybody, I think this is Joyce Reed or whatever her name is.
That way, you recommend just from a psychological standpoint, being around them. We got the holidays coming up.
There is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going to a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why.
I think the ultimate goal for these people is to live in a world where everyone agrees with one another, and that is impossible. And if every little thing triggers you, if you want to scream constantly and cry and then film those meltdowns and then wish harm on people if they think differently, if they have different views, then your only solution really is to go into the forest, completely isolate yourself, and live alone. And even then, your own mind might not give you peace. You might have a contradicting thought and go into a full meltdown. That's what happens with extreme individualism. And we're in an era with these safe spaces constantly, right? Always prioritizing your comfort. The reality
that's
is
what FEMA did.
Healthy, not for you, not for other people. That's an echo chamber.
For all the white women, the Beckley's,
listen to this.
Look really good.
Please, and Emily's who voted for Trump. This is what I gotta say to you.
Ew, what's wrong with her tongue?
Whenever your little Emily comes home full of Tyreek's. She's a teen. Sadly, you told her not to mess with that dark meat, but she did. I'm going to enjoy the non-abortion that she's going to get. She's going to be forced to have that baby and trace the whole family. Go ahead, Tyrone. Put it in her. So you can get this swirl in. Now you got some.
I'm apologizing ahead of time for her, but y'all need to hear this.
We at Thanksgiving dinner now. The whole in-laws, everybody coming over there. What's up? Your grandchild gonna be a Rebecca. Pilates class, but we'll be going to the to see Rodney. You know what I'm saying? So we can pop you down and you go back home all tired and ran through to Stephen. That's gonna break one day, baby. That plan B ain't gonna be available, and that abortion ain't gonna be available. And Peter gonna know that you got some BBC all up in that ran through run up. Oh, but you ain't gonna be getting no abortion, are you? You ain't gonna be like you've been doing before, because we all know why y'all wanted to shut down abortions. Y'all was getting all the abortions. Welcome that black baby, and we know y'all gonna about to dog me. Welcome that black baby to the family.
Girls supporting girls until they vote differently. Well, guess what, girl? This might be normal for you. And I'm sorry that seems to be the case. But it's actually not normal, right? To go to the hood and get knocked up and continue that cycle and keep getting abortions, right? And babies. That's not normal. I'm sorry that that's become the norm for you, it seems like, but it's not.
When you're out on a table somewhere and doctors can't do nothing, our thoughts and prayers will not be with you. Well, our thoughts will be, and our thoughts will be you little fast mother white trash, BBC loving, Tyreeka's in Daquan loving.
And she goes on to say that she hopes that white women are ganged by black men. Yeah, wow. And that's the left. They say that we're in a cult for believing in one God and believing that all people can be forgiven for their sin. And that woman is in great need of forgiveness because the hatred and the racism drips off her. Could you imagine if a white person would have done that? Hey, sweetie, how was work? Tiring? I almost said let the boys out, but the boys are in boot camp right now. Don't laugh at me, Steve. Sorry, guys. I've got my daughter and I both are going through some kind of ick. But anyway, I wanted to tell you guys, I found this and it kind of blew my mind, okay? There is a bill that Biden-Harris passed called West Act of 2024, the Western Economic Security Today Act of 2024. Okay. And basically, it goes on to talk about public input and stakeholders, conservation, support restoration, and offset of the impacts of development. The proposed rule also attempts to respond to prior feedback from states, localities, and developers that such a tool could help to support durable mitigation and restoration of public lands. Basically, they want to put the public lands on the stock market. Now, we know that they passed this, right? It says the existence of a conservation lease would also provide support for successful restoration. For example, a nonprofit sporting organization could put people to work on public lands to restore mule deer or elk habitat, and a conservation lease would help ensure that the land stays in perpetuity. Here's the problem. Here is the problem. It's going to put that land up for grabs, okay? So then it goes on. This is all tied to HR 3397. Now, that was a congressional bill that Biden and Harris pushed through. And the reason they pushed it through is because it says here, the United States is a resource-rich nation, unlike any other. In many ways, we already account for our nation's many priceless natural assets like minerals, timber, and oil and gas production on federal lands. However, as governments around the world, international organizations, and the private sector attempt to formalize the treatment of natural resources as a form of capital, we must take great care so that our natural capital accounting system will best serve our nation rather than serve as a weapon to achieve partisan goals. Why are they doing this? Because Biden and Harris basically forced us into the Green New Deal with the United Nations and signed all of our rights away. So it says here, as we have witnessed over the last 3 years, President Biden is determined to lock up public lands and water across the country from a sort of resource development causing tremendous harm not only to our economy, but to our national security as well. Russia and China are laughing at us as President Biden repeatedly jeopardizes our national security and the security of our great allies in Europe by handicapping vital domestic resource development. At the same time, he is opening up and allowing places like North Carolina to be ravaged for quartz and lithium. Wake up. Wake up. They want to take our public lands and allow third-party companies and other countries to come in and buy them, basically, and take care of them because it costs so much. It costs so much. That land, public land, belongs to you, guys. Michelle Morrison said, was that actually a woman or was that a trans woman? The video reminded me of a guy. Oh, no, that was a woman. If you want to call her that. If you want to call her that. Okay. And it goes on to say, I am all for oversight of our nation's public lands and conservation policies. I think it is important to review them and understand how they will impact our communities. I am grateful for the opportunity to have this hearing. This was a hearing that they did. The first is the National Strategy on Environmental Economic Decisions. This is a policy and a roadmap that has been put forth by the administration to help address really an era in how we quantify the benefits of different uses of our land if you essentially value the full value that a natural resource provides or a land provides, that you would make different decisions. In other words, folks, basically, they're talking about figuring up how much our natural lands are worth and giving that information to the UN because it's in this, okay? It's in this. It says, these are some of the questions that they were asked. What influence did natural capital accounting standards from the United Nations or other international bodies, such as the World Bank, have on the Biden administration's national strategy to develop statistics for environmental economic decisions? Oh, thank you, Stanton 2033. God bless you for your $5 donation. We appreciate that, guys. We really do. It's somewhere, Pumpkin. And then it goes on to say that in a January 19th, 2022 press release, Secretary Haaland is on record as promoting the nonprofit organization Foundation for America's Public Lands. That foundation integrates public and private partnership to promote conservation on private lands owned by the federal government, and is reportedly led by Director Stone Manning, former Director Crones, and former Montana Governor Bullock. Guys, listen. They want to take all of our natural resources from us, right? Yeah. Everybody hit the like for me so that this pushes this further. I want to show you guys
It's going to produce better conservation practices, or
this was the governor talking out against what they passed.
Less carbon emissions. So essentially, what it's doing is letting third parties come in, give them some money, and give them the authority over this land rather than the people who actually live there. And it gives no discretion as to who those third parties are. If they are foreign countries that could be our enemies, they could be people who do not love the United States of America, and then it also allows them to lock up that land and have authority of it that they had no authority before, with no consequences if the agreement is broken. Well, thank you. Thank you, Congressman Johnson. It is an honor to be here. I was ready for some kind of a joke or something.
So she's right. That's what happened. Those are the type of bills and legislation that Biden and Harris pushed through in the past 4 years. Do you guys remember when Biden said, some of the legislation we pass will be hard to undo because of the way it's done, because it's done connected to the UN. Excuse me. And he said, we won't feel it for like 10 years. guys, they have done so many dark things to take our natural resources from us. Good afternoon, Val. How are you? I just want y'all to understand that like I said, I'm new to looking into all of this. And as I dig deeper, all I can say is that there's so many deep state characters all around Trump. I trust Trump too. That's why I voted for him. But I have to say, he didn't know what he was getting into in 2016. And unfortunately, some of the people that he's mentioned for his 2024 cabinet are a little like, I hope maybe he knows something I don't, which I'm sure he does, but you know what I'm saying. All right, guys. If you live in the Pacific Northwest, please hunker down. We all know there's like this tremendous storm coming towards you. Leslie told me you guys used to call it the Pineapple Express because it would loop around Maui and Hawaii and then come back towards you, but it's supposed to stall out over you. And so if you are not prepared for that, please do so. And the next coming hours is supposed to hit like today. Also, what is this nonsense with what's going on in public schools right now? Now, I know that you guys are as concerned as I am with what's happening in schools, but it's bad. It's really bad right now. And I want y'all to hear some of what's going on.
And just please don't test your gangster on me. Nobody talk to me unless you want to swing. If you want to fight, text me, call me, whatever.
Another Newsday exclusive. The Cheshire teacher under investigation for posting this politically charged video has resigned. That video got national attention.
I spoke with the woman who recorded it, Annie Dunleavy, this afternoon. She apologized to her students and explained the emotion behind her words. If you voted for Trump, literally, please delete me, block me, get rid of everything of me, or step to me so that I know what's up and then I can handle you how I see fit. Just because you won doesn't mean we don't remember who the blank you voted for. You're not in the clear. Please don't test your gangster on me because you'll end on a stretcher, gone forever. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so that
sounds like a threat.
It sounds very extreme. And again, I was in a moment of high emotions and I shouldn't have ever posted the video. But the message I was trying to get across, and it came off very wrong, was, if this is going to give people the almost permission in their minds to enact violence against women or anybody, I wanted to basically just say, I'm not going to go down without a fight. I mean, it's my life.
Okay, y'all hear what she's saying? All right, so I'm hearing this theme because Trump was elected. Like, the left assumes that we're going to behave as they behave. They're gaslighting. They're mirroring. They're saying, hey, if you think you're going to step up to me, we're going to throw it out. We have more class than that on the right. Like this gentleman right here. Listen to this nonsense. Hold on. I got to get it up for you guys.
Out at a function or a bar or something, and I see you saying the phrase, your body, my choice, to a woman, I am going to kill you. And that's not me.
So this is a great mindset.
Anybody recognize his face?
Words that I don't like. You verbally said something that makes me mad. It bothers me. So I'm going to kill you now. So now I'm going to kill you. Yeah, we don't really do that in our society, in our wonderful Western society. We kind of we don't tolerate that. We don't tolerate that type of behavior. Sorry, sir.
Saying that as some metaphorical thing, I'm going to go off on you, or I'm going to just really hurt you. I mean this with the utmost sincerity from the bottom of my heart. In that moment, I am going to try to end your fucking life.
Yes, she did. That teacher that I showed you, that teacher I showed you, she was fired. She was fired. She was put on administrative leave and then she was fired. And now she is backpedaling. They all do. The Monica Kiesler, let me get on Facebook one day and be like, oh, I think this lady turned Peanut in. And then when somebody does it to me, I then get on national news going, I didn't do it. Why is everybody accusing me? But she never apologized for opening up Pandora's box. I agree. It was never like this until the last 4 years. That's why they're expecting us. And by the way, who has ever walked up to somebody else and gone, your body, my choice? Have any of you ever used that phrase to anyone? No, but it does sound familiar when they did this and did this. And some of us went, whoa, we'd rather not. What? My husband's laughing at me. What?
Your body, my choice.
No, seriously, come look. Come here. I'm not joking, Steve. Listen to this insanity. Come here. My husband just got home from work and he hasn't seen all this stuff that I found today. Watch this.
A function or a bar or something.
Keep on going,
and I see you saying the phrase, your body, my choice to a woman. I am going to kill you. And that's not me.
So this is a great mindset. You said words that I don't like. You verbally said something that makes me mad. It bothers me. So I'm going to kill you now. So now I'm going to kill you. Yeah, we don't really do that in our society, in our wonderful Western
DC, it's funny you said that because when I said that to him, he pointed at me like this. Y'all couldn't see him. And he went like this and he goes, like, you belong to me.
Saying that as like some metaphorical thing, like, oh, I'm going to go off on you, or like, I'm going to like just really hurt you. Like, I mean this with the utmost sincerity from the bottom of my heart.
I totally agree, Jamie. Trump has nothing to do with your right to kill your unborn children or anything else. Love you too, Kelly. So what do you think, Steve?
Over himself. He has so little control over his behavior, over his emotions that
he would kill somebody.
For what? He said that he's going to be at a function or
tell
bar.
you what, let me have somebody walk up to me and tell me your body, my choice. Your choice is better if I don't want to jump on because I'm going to show you how fast you're going to get off.
But who would walk up to somebody? He's saying because Trump got elected that men are now going to start walking up to women in America going, your body, my choice.
Let somebody walk up to my wife and tell her, your body, my choice. Come here, I'm going to show you your choices.
Which dog would you like to test today?
Well, I'm not a convicted felon, so I don't. I can play with a pow-pow.
My husband can play with pow-pows.
But I don't plan on killing somebody for something stupid.
That is stupid.
That is stupid.
They literally think that because Trump is in office,
that people are going to go up there and say, your body, my choice. No.
I've never heard anybody use that phrase or that terminology, but for left people. You called that too, Rainey. So my husband has learned that there's certain words we can't say on YouTube. So he's now adjusted to pow pow and unalive. Like
what
it's so unalive means to somebody, because what you can say on TikTok, you cannot say on YouTube.
Oh, that was on TikTok?
Yes. And now I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I used to be all for free speech, and I am, but I think there needs to be more than you're going to lose your job for these. The lady with the crazy hair laughing about gang banging and raping of white women, and then your children, you can't have an abortion because you voted for Trump.
She's laughing about it. Okay. Apparently, she likes that situation.
That's what the girl who did it, but I'll explain it to you in a second. But he's right. That's what my husband said. Obviously, like that might be normal where you come from, but that is not normal where we come from.
Some people are into that.
Steve, I know, babe. I know. All I'm saying, you guys,
Some people like horses.
Oh, thanks. Somebody said thanks for your fun and informative channel. We have a good time, guys. Let me tell you something. You've got to laugh. You better learn to laugh. It is concerning to see the amount of threats coming from the left. The real and viable threats to other people's safety. I have heard women say that while they're waiting in line.
I'm going to let them keep looking. What am I at?
You're right there.
Right. I'm backwards now.
You are backwards.
I'm going to let them keep looking at this left hand. And then I'm going to come around with the right hand.
mess my camera up. I love him. I love him. So that is my point, folks. You had better, hey, Ameria, you better be prepared. People questioned.
Be ready with the right hand.
Be ready with the right hand. People question my sending my dogs off to be trained. But do you really, after hearing all of this, wonder why I sent my best friend, my German Shepherd, and my baby, my Dogo, to be canine trained?
And I'm going to tell you, I know everybody has a little where they want to, y'all, everybody can say they have my dogs too. I'm the daddy.
There was a gnat. It won't go
I'm
away.
the daddy. I'm going to be the last one to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm serious. The dogs are there for a purpose. But I mispronounced where my dogs are being trained. I want y'all to hear it.
Hey, I appreciate it. And just so you know, it's pronounced La Fundación.
La Fundación.
Fundación is Spanish. It means the foundation to obedience. And so I did everything off the foundation. Without the foundation, nothing stands well. No house, no building, no dog training. You got to have a foundation first.
He's great. If you're in Louisiana or the surrounding states or anywhere in the United States and you've got the funds to do it, you need to reach out to this gentleman and get your dogs trained, y'all.
And if you don't have a dog,
get one.
He's got very beautiful puppies. He may not have puppies right now, but he gets his puppies when they breed. He does his starting them and all that. They're beautiful.
They are
beautiful.
registered.
They are some big dogs.
They're like 160 pounds, the males, and he'll train them for you. Oh, thank you, Jamie. Jamie said, show me some support. Hit that thumbs up. But guys, look, we not only do we have to have the ability to laugh, we've got to have the ability to protect ourselves. Okay? Because though a lot of this is idle threats, these people are unhinged. They're truly certifiably insane. They are threatening to blow things up. They are threatening. I saw videos of women selling rings on Etsy with this little thing in it where they can put poison in it. Folks, this is not a joke. Every single one of them should be investigated by the FBI and arrested.
I don't like that idea.
With the ring with the poison?
Yeah.
My husband said, I kind of like that idea. But they're talking about doing it to their husband. So I'm not sure how much you like that.
Well, if your husband's beating on them, yeah.
That's different, though, boo. That's different.
But if
That's so different.
You take it to the right way. Do the cop.
Yeah. Go to the police. I totally agree. I want to show you one more unhinged teacher that you guys have got to hear about this.
But first off, what they said was they got fired for being queer by a hater. That is not true.
This is Buck Angel. And he is gay, but he's funny.
School policy as a teacher. And social media is not allowed in the school.
Nope.
Or you are allowed to connect with your students. You're a high school teacher.
It is creepy.
You're an adult. They are minors. Whether or not you look at that way or not, these are minors. The school policy you violated. You got fired for violating. Why are you lying? That's what, you're not doing us any favors, my friend, as a queer teacher. You're not doing us any favors in any way, shape, or form with the LGBT community when you lie about why you got fired.
What happened to me wasn't fair to me or to my students that I helped make a better and safer environment for every single day.
This is crazy.
Right now in America, queer teachers are under attack.
No, they're not.
Constantly being targeted and kicked out of the classrooms for being who they are and for helping students feel welcomed for who they are.
No, that's not your job.
I hope that by telling my story, I can make other queer teachers who have gone through similar experiences feel less alone.
Okay, now it's all about the queer teachers. What? You're adults. Whatever your personal life is as a queer person, you go ahead, champion that. But how dare you call yourself a queer teacher and then expect everyone to just bow down to you? This is the problem.
I'm pretty sure we had some gay teachers. We didn't know about it though, did we?
No, we didn't know about it. But all right, let's look at a good point here. All right. Pronouns. Okay.
They confuse
my pronouns
Stevens.
A grown man.
They
or a little
him.
child. Listen, I'm a little child.
Isn't that creepy?
So
they just creep me out. We're going back to he's a grown man.
Yeah, but no, it's.
I know what you're
pronouns,
saying.
I'm a dog. I'm this. I'm that.
Know.
Well, it ain't all about the animals. It ain't all about the females or nothing. I could be a 2-year-old now. I want to go wear a dog.
There are people that identify as children. I just saw a video
that's
of a grown man sitting in a high chair in a diaper being fed supper by his wife. Folks,
put me in a mental hospital.
Honey, I would be kinder than that. I just put you out your misery.
Listen,
let me tell you guys something. This nonsense of what social media is doing is giving permission to everybody to parade their insanity. And TikTok is the #1 cesspool out there. There was a point where now they call you bullying, right? That you're bullying if you tell somebody, look, you're a grown man, get out the diaper and get out of the high chair. You're bullying him. No, somebody needs to tell him that he's creepy and get his big fat butt out of the high chair. It's ridiculous. And let me tell you something. I taught school. My babies didn't know if I was married or unmarried. They didn't know where I lived. They didn't know how many children I had. They didn't know my parents. They didn't get to see when Miss Sam went on vacation because it wasn't their business. I was their teacher. Miss Sam is all they needed to know. I was there to teach them how to read and write and to count. I did my job and I went home. I did not air my personal crap in the middle of my classroom. So let's continue with this nonsense to show you what this queer teacher got fired for.
Awesome. Maybe you're a great art teacher. Awesome. But why does the queer need to come into the art? And why are you so obsessed with being a queer teacher? And queer teachers are under attack. You know why queer teachers are under attack? Because you are not following the school policy. Keep your personal business, including your social media posts, out of the public eye in the school system. It is why you got fired. Deal with it. So now I'm going to get to this next part, which is actually so absurd. It's incredible. I actually learned something. Okay, so now she gets an email from HR. Okay, so watch this.
Email from my HR manager asking to sit down and talk about my social media posts.
Right.
I hadn't posted about working at school on TikTok in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And the only post I could think of was where I let the art club kids face paint my face to practice before a big football game. And I thought for some reason HR wasn't going to be happy. I let them.
You already knew.
And were going to yell at me.
You already knew that post.
That wasn't the case at all. Considering the comments on this video were so horrible.
What? People are just telling you you're a teacher. Have boundaries. That's what the comments say. You need boundaries around kids. You're an adult teacher.
I do believe this was the motivation for the hater to commit the crime.
It wasn't one hater that got you fired.
On November 2nd, before my meeting with HR, I was notified by email by our substitute booking website.
Here we go.
And all of my jobs that I had booked out till March were taken away from me, and I was released from working them.
Okay, why?
Immediately, I got a gut-sinking feeling in my stomach and realized something more serious was going on.
Oh, really?
I had no clue what it was. When I walked into the meeting, my HR manager asked me if I knew why I was here. I said I had no idea, besides wanting to talk about my social media posts. They then pulled out a yellow folder.
Here it comes.
And slid 2 screenshots of 2 old thirst traps across the table.
Wow.
And I was just like...
Now play innocent. Look, play innocent. Oh my God. Wow. I haven't seen those in years. That's just so obvious what's going on.
What is a thirst trap?
The fact
month of me making TikToks every day.
What is a thirst? I gotta look it up. Hold on, folks. I don't know what a thirst trap is. Sorry that I don't live.
In 1 year. This inspired me to
What's-
launch Eucora.
I'm so grateful. Before I started taking Eucora, I was struggling with my urinary health.
I don't know what just happened. Wait, what is that?
My phone knows that.
Thirst trap is a social media post such as a photo or video that is intended to attract attention or make people sexually interested and the person in the post. So she had thirst traps, 2 of them, up on her social media platform that she shared with her students. It goes further. The gentleman breaks it down for you. She shared her personal social media, invited the kids to come to it. And then there's inappropriately sexually dressed photos of her.
Well,
but she don't understand why she got fired.
Apparently she had to go for children anyway, because that was an ugly woman.
That's where America's at right now. There's one more on teachers. Yeah, I had to look it up too. I'm sorry. I mean, like, we live a decent, quiet life, folks. And I'm sorry. We just not into thirst traps or anything else. I guess we're getting old, Steve. I'm just so glad that there wasn't this crap around when my generation was young, being really serious. Oh, wait till you hear what this preschool teacher did.
Special sticker in school. He said, yes, mommy, I get a special sticker. I said, what does the sticker look like? He said, I get it right here on my hand. And it has the storms with the clouds and the stars and the moon. And so I said, well, when do you get it? He said, we get it. And after we get it, I go and sit down. And then after that, we go for our nap.
Spring ISD parents are pushing for criminal charges after they say teachers gave sleeping aids to their children.
2 Northgate Crossing elementary school teachers, they have been removed now from class and placed on administrative leave as police investigate the allegations. Parents want to know how long this was going on.
We've been doing this to our kids. They ain't no telling what the side effects are from.
Okay, so my husband's like, what? The sticker on the baby's hand?
That's LSD.
No, it's not LSD. Hopefully. I mean, like, come on now.
Oh, okay. You
it was sleep aid.
Yeah, sleep aid, but it's just all right.
Yes, how people used to take acid. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You stuck it on your tongue, or you stuck it on you,
or in your eye, or
and it soaks through your body. So that's basically what they're doing to these children.
Yeah, but it's a sleep aid.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Now, I want you to think of a Keithan. If Miss Florence called right now and said the school has been putting a sleep aid on Keithan's hand every day without me knowing about it, right? I can look at his face. I can look at my husband's face and the anger brew in there, because that baby is our heart. Let me tell you guys, that's a public school system, and they're medicating these babies to take naps.
Teacher was there all the time. I don't understand why your teachers are getting paid to teach. Why do these kids need a nap? They can go home and take a nap.
I've always said that. I taught kindergarten, and they used to get mad at me because if my kids fell asleep, I let them sleep. But I didn't put my babies down for naps. I'm not there to babysit while children sleep. Okay? I was there to teach. And some of those kids don't get sleepy. If they're still young enough, they need naps, and they can stay home. They're babies. You keep them at home. Somebody, and then, of course, before we go, just know that Biden is desperately trying to get us into a full-fledged war before he leaves office.
Pressing them to confirm Matt Gaetz as the new U.S. Attorney General. Now, the House Ethics.
Hold on, that's not it. Where's it at? It's in here. I say it's in here. Is this it? No. Anyway, you all heard about it. Biden allowed missiles to be shot from Ukraine, U.S. missiles from Ukraine into Russia. He authorized that just the other day. So get ready for them to smack back, folks. And this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. And one more crazy lady on the airline.
This woman is not happy she's sitting next to a Trump supporter. Watch how her failure to settle down leaves her regretting her
They're all insane.
She has called me names and insulted me just for sitting down in the seat, saying that I came here to celebrate today.
Is there going to be a problem? I would like for him to change seats with someone. No, I'm going to get somebody. Well, you don't have that right.
You don't have that right.
Somebody to come and talk. Do you believe in gravity? Did you know gravity is just a theory? Right.
She goes, no. I'm paying for the seat and I'm sitting in it. They can say what they want, folks.
Okay, well, he's paying for his seat. He's sitting in it.
That's right.
Go Trump, baby.
Thank God.
Same thing. Let somebody sit next to me. You're sitting there because you're Trump. Heck yeah.
Let me tell you the difference. You would get up willingly and move away from him.
I would make you move.
He'd make you move. He'd never lay a finger on you. But when he got done with you, baby, you'd be getting yourself off that plane and asking for a refund. I guarantee it. I know who I'm married to. Know who you're married to, ladies. And if you're married to a man that won't defend you, can't defend you, well, I'm sorry, baby, because mine sure will. You got to know who you're married. Guys, we love y'all so very much. Thank you for spending the last hour with me. I really have to go. Tomorrow's Stephen's birthday, and money's a little tight because you guys all know that. Money's a little tight for everybody. So it looks like I'm going to have to cook a big home-cooked meal to celebrate rather than taking him out to eat. But that's okay. It's okay because he knows that I love him. He knows that I love him. And he's been very good to me these past 12 years. So I just want you guys to know that we love y'all. And if you need anything, you know how to reach out. If you would like to get the newspaper, everybody's saying happy birthday, Stephen.
Look at my birthday meal. Leftover hamburger helper.
I told y'all. Don't tell on me. What's wrong with you, man? Making me look bad. Everybody's saying happy birthday. Tell everybody.
Thank you.
I actually cook a lot of home cooked meals. Don't let him fib to you. I was tired last night. And guess what Sam did? Somebody said that's the good stuff.
I like it.
He does love it. Stephen was raised in a children's home. His mom died when he was only 5. And comfort food to my husband is things like hamburger helper and chicken nuggets and fish sticks and things that you cook in like home cafeterias, right? So his birthdays, he never had like celebrated birthdays or anything like that. And so
we got a funeral day after.
Yeah, and now we have a funeral to go to. But if you are interested in getting the newsletter, folks, if you pay for it through Cash App, you've got to put your email in the memo, okay? And I'll drop in what it is. Actually, you know what? I'm going to end it, and I'm going to go in under comments and put the different ways you can get the newsletter. They all said, have a wonderful birthday.
Thank you.
I love you guys. Have a blessed day, folks.